I'm going to show you a different way to open a file up in Photoshop, and it's just a little bit more complicated, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. And to do that, I'm going to close my previous file, and here you can see that it's open as a tab. It's named 1.jpg. I'm just going to hit the X button in the tab, and that'll close it out, and it'll change this interface to my Photoshop home screen. If I go to the application bar and go to File, Open, it'll bring up a dialog box, and that dialog box will allow me to select the JPEG that I want to open up. Here I could find it, it's on my desktop. I'll hit Open, and then that file will open up in the Photoshop interface. So this is a really different way, especially if your files are deep within folders or subfolders, that you would want to actually open a file in this other way, this alternative way. So while we're here with our file open, let's talk a little bit about the workspace of Photoshop. So you can see that the document window here is showing our file, and it's occupying the most space within the interface. The other thing that I want to call your attention to is the toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, as I'm clicking each tool, you might notice that there's something changing about the interface. Now, if I hover over an icon, it gives me a little cheat sheet, and it'll show me exactly what this tool does. Don't worry, we're going to go very much in depth on all of these tools, but right now I just want you to know that the toolbar is here on the left hand side, and then as you click each new tool, the options bar at the top of the Photoshop interface changes in relationship to the new tool that we select. So here, if I pick the Move tool, you can see that the option bar changes at the top here. And then I click again, and it changes to something different. Now, this is going to be very important because we'll be learning a lot of techniques, and you'll need to use the options bar for each new tool that you select. Now, we already have seen the tabs open here in this part of the interface, and we've learned about the options bar. Let's take a look at the right-hand side of Photoshop and show you these panels on the right. Now, these panels are really going to be used to organize our workflow, and the biggest way that our lives are going to be complicated but also have more efficiency would be the layers panel. The layers panel is over here on the right, and you can see that these panels have a lot of tabs as well, and these panels can also be clicked and dragged and expanded, but their default size is going to be just fine. Now, you might think that this is a toolbar over here on the right, but it's just hiding additional panels. So here, if I click on the top icon, you can see that here we have the history panel opened up, and within that is yet another panel called the actions panel. So this is where Photoshop starts becoming complicated, because all of these things are hidden within the program, but if you follow along, you'll do perfectly fine. We're just going step by step, so don't be intimidated by this workspace. We're going to define everything here. The adjustments panel is really intuitive. It has a lot of icons. If you hover over them, it will actually allow you to do the things that the icons represent, which is pretty exciting in terms of editing. The navigation panel helps you see exactly what you're looking at in relationship to your file. So we'll be covering this when we're working on gigantic files and we have to zoom in a lot. The other thing that I wanted to explain is that here at the bottom of the interface is our percentage view, and then also we have our document size. Here it's at 11.3 megabytes opened up, so that's the size of this file. Next, after this, we're going to learn how to save a file out and talk a little bit about the different file formats that we can save our files out as.